What's going on, YouTube? We're back here with another video on Etheria restart, and I wanted to talk about gear in this game. So I'm gonna give you guys a little gear guide. I'm trying to make this short and just straight to the point, so it's not a long ass video that you guys have to watch, because I don't need to long it out for no reason. It's pretty straightforward, and I'm gonna tell you all you really need to know about gear. So the first thing I want to start off with is gonna be the most important thing. So when it comes to modules, right, substats are going to be really important, of course, but what I really want to get into about substats are, you don't want to level up stuff like this. Like, yes, crit rate and speed is amazing, of course I could use that on a character. Who wouldn't want to use these two? But guess what, when I level up to level 3, just for the sake of video, I'm going to do it. You see what happens, it goes attack bonus, right? Then you go HP, you know. This is not a bad piece for someone that's running Bramble, you know. This on a tier map, not bad. Speed, crit rate, attack bonus, HP, everything she could use. But guess what, I leveled up 2 times and I missed 2 substat increases. So I don't know if I have a 4-piece, which I really wish I did have for the video purposes. Can I find one, please? Okay, look. Oh wait, this one's level 3, so this one had 3 already. Okay, look, this is at level 1, but it has 4 substats already. So guess what's gonna happen at level 3? Oh, something got increased. Oh, level 6, another thing got increased. You see how this gear piece is already better than the other one that I was leveling up, because it got increases instead of just extra substats. So what you really want to do is, when you're farming for gear, you want to get the gear pieces that have 4 substats already. So every time you're leveling it up, you're getting a substat increase instead of just an extra substat. At minimum, I would say if you get 3 substats, is potentially worth leveling up if it's substats that really go with your character. Okay, so let's just say I've got Lily here. Let's say I get a Swift Rush drop and it's got speed, effect accuracy, and maybe defense. It's something that I might level up, because those are 3 things I could use on her, you know. But let's say I was to get speed, then just effect resistance and an attack, I'm gonna be like, you know what, I'm good. So I will say at minimum, if you all get 3 substats, make sure 2 of those 3 substats are at least good substats for that character you're gonna level that gear up on. So that was the one thing I really wanted you guys to know about, and I hope you guys did know about that. But if you didn't, at least now you know, especially before the 2 times event as well, which I'm planning to drop this before that. So hopefully you guys watch this video before the 2 times event, because knowing that about gear is gonna help you get extra substats, because you're gonna need that, especially once you get into late game PvP. You know, you're gonna want to have them extra rolls on certain things. So now we got that out of the way, the second thing I'm gonna get into is which domain is the most efficient to farm. Now this could, you know, is like, you know, I'm gonna say Doki Doki, but then again, it's just depending on who you're building, what you need to build, what characters you're building, what you're focusing on. So technically they all could be good, you feel me? But I just feel like farming Doki Doki is really efficient. The reason why is because you're gonna have a lot of support characters in this game. Support characters are gonna enable you to do so much in this game. You're gonna use them in PvP, you're gonna use them in PvE, okay? And you're gonna use so many of those as well. You might have a certain supports that you use for Doki Doki, and certain supports that you use for Aurora, then certain supports that you use for, you know, Terramonton. And you know, some of those supports might not be supports you use in everything. So getting as much gear for those supports is what makes Doki Doki so great, because you're gonna get Swift Rush, which you're gonna want to use on every support character, right? And something you might want to use on other characters that are not support characters too. That's the great thing about Swift Rush, you feel me? Like, I have this on my Ling Lo. She has full Swift Rush because I wanted to make her fast. So yeah, Swift Rush is just amazing. And you also got Timepiece here, which is a Time Weave, which is amazing combination with Swift Rush. So once you guys saw my Kloss, who has both of those, you know, is a really good combination for her, because she needs effect accuracy, plus she has high skill cooldown. So having a chance to reduce all of them is really nice for her. Obviously up here my effect accuracy is arse. I just didn't get the right main stats, but this is not something I'm actually using. I just have it there because, you know, it just says 12 12, but this is something I use on her more. 125% effect accuracy, a bit more like it. But yeah, a lot of characters are going to use Time Weave and Swift Rush because a lot of them scale off effect accuracy, or need effect accuracy I should say. So that's why Doki Doki is really amazing. And you know, stuff like this changes fights, because when you're able to land your debuffs and stuff, is thanks to effect accuracy, and it's going to help your characters do more damage and stuff. Then you also got these two pieces here, Unbreakable and Bramble, which are two really good sets. A lot of characters scale off defense. You might want to partner up Unbreakable with certain other gears, you know, and Bramble's also good, you know, for certain characters too, you know, especially, you know, it's really nice when it does proc off. You know, someone like Tiamat who could go into her ult form. If she gets hit, she could do her attack in her ult form to the whole team, you know, something like that in PvP, man. Trust me, it feels real good. Then the next one I would say, I'm personally going to say Aurora, just because I'm in love with the Momentum and Fury set. For me, it's just the best, just because I run so many CC and debuff characters with my DPS characters, so they could really use the effects of Momentum. And Fury, the thing about Fury, right, is you're going to build your characters to have 100% crit rate. So you're going to build them to have that guaranteed crit. So they're going to get that additional 12% damage increase every time, because you're critting every time. And you also got to think about characters that hit multiple times in their ult. So let's say a character hits 3-4 times in their ult and you have 100% crit rate. They're going to crit every hit. So that's 12%, 12%, 12%, 12%. You feel me? So that's why Fury is really amazing and why I really like it for DPS characters. But you also have this here, Bulwark, which is amazing for PvP content because of the immunity. So you won't be able to get frozen or pushed back or anything like that during the first turn in PvP, which could be helpful and make you able to build certain team comps as well, because you're not getting pushed back and stuff like that. Also, Bloodbath here, I don't know if much people will build it, but I don't think it's a bad piece. You know, it's pretty decent, pretty decent. Then we have Terramontan here, but this is if you was like I don't want to say one's more important than other. I feel like everyone will farm all of them, you know, if they need it. It's just that when I look at these drops here, most of them here I won't use. You know, the only one here I'm gonna use is probably Cure, because I want to build my healer on Swift Rush and Cure. Now Kenai is a good thing to have, so I would say grinding for some Kenai ain't that bad. You know, Kenai is definitely a good set, and obviously on Inferno it has some, you know, great sets right here too. But yeah, efficient wise, I think Doki Doki is definitely number one. And for someone like me with the DPS and team comps I have, I would be farming a lot more Aurora than Terramontan. But for some people, you might be farming Terramontan a lot more. The third thing I want to get into is kind of something I was talking about before, but building the right combinations for characters, okay? So for example, as I said before, I have this piece right here, you know, 12 Swift Rush, 12 Time Weave. Eventually you're going to be moving into 12-8-6, so you could have 3 matrix effects activated. But you know, for now, until then, before you're able to farm up Inferno a lot, you're probably going to have 12-12, or if you're lucky enough, I should say, at least. You just want to get the right 12 pieces that suit the character and with the way how you're using them and with the way how they work. So obviously I want my clutch to be fast, so that's why we've got 12 piece Swift Rush. And with the 12 piece Time Weave, it gives her extra effect accuracy, which is going to help her land her debuffs. And as I said, she has high skill cooldown, so having that chance to reduce it is going to help her really nicely. So that's why I feel like Time Weave for her is amazing. You know, you just got to look at what the characters need, what they scale off and stuff like that, and you know, read through their prowess as well, and just see, you're just gonna know what they need when you just read through their skills and stuff like that. My boy Messiah, I Momentum and Fury, I switch this between him and the Ting, you know what I'm saying? So whoever I'm using, I give them this gear piece. It ain't the best, but it gets the job done. In terms of like, it's not the best with the rarity I have, you know. If these were mythics, then it would be a lot more better. But you know, something like this for me is important because of the way how I use my characters and teams. I have debuffers all the time, I have CCs all the time, so they're going to be able to use something like this. So make sure you're bearing that in mind, you know, your team comp, what characters you're always using as well, so you could get the most out of the certain matrices, certain modules. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about, was really those 3 things, because that I feel like that's the only 3 things you really need to know. When it comes to substats, at least try to get 3 substats at the minimum, you know, but you're really aiming for 4 substats straight away from gear pieces that you're going to be leveling up. When it comes to most efficient farming, I feel like it's Doki Doki, and at early game it's going to be Terramontan as well, of course, because you know the onslaught is going to help, and because you could get harvest from Doki Doki, you're going to be able to go onslaught and harvest at the start of the game for a while, you know. But I think eventually you're going to definitely want to start farming Aurora for your DPS characters. And after that, you know, you want to mix and match really well. So Momentum and Fury go really nice. I think Momentum and Kenai could work really nice as well, especially for multi-hitters. You know, multi-hitters is really important because they're going to be able to abuse the whole free piece of Kenai, you know, the 25%, 15, and 5%. But yeah, that's going to be from me. Like, subscribe, and up. I'll catch y'all in the next one. I'm out.
To you